Strive to be a good child. Whether you're good or worthless, it still won't influence their decision. They say that I hit the lottery at birth. My parents were very rich, and they've been growing more rich with each...
Let's pause a bit. Head to McDonald's down the road. And then head home. I'm fucking hungry. Unlock the bit. Rocket. Head inside and get something to eat, dog. Fuck yeah, there's a good burger. Unlock my car. Head home. Head to bed. Wake up in the morning for school. Oh right, I forgot. Lock my car. Fuck. Lucky. Let's head to bed, I guess. Let's put me into another body. My gang? No, I can shift bodies if I wanted to. I showed them how I do it, so they know what I'm capable of. So, let's switch bodies. So I'm bored of this one now. Nope, not that body, not that body. I'm looking for another teenager body. Nope. 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 Yes, he is 15. Let's get changed now. Here. Here we are. Let's head to school. But the sad thing is, this body doesn't have any weapons. So I have to buy some more weapons. Unlock my car. Let's head to school. Oh shit, here we are. Another day of high school. Rock the bitch. Three, two, one, action. Press play.
What I like to do, now that we own a car, I like to keep food in here, drink in here, like a cleaning kit, and if you've got one, a repair kit, where is she there?
So I will.
She is here, okay. Parker-Rooney, lock the Whippatoonie.
Let's have another join.
So, you're the culprit.
Yes.
If you were looking at that house right there, like how much would something like this go for?
Like something like this with the garage. It could have a Michael interior, so I could probably do about $750.
750? Bruce, can you bank transfer me like 150k?
Yep, I can do that, man. Alright, shall we pay the tip and then quickly ride to the bank around the corner? There we go. We don't want to take up too much of our time, but let me hop on the radio, because I need to make sure I get the bank number right. I don't want to be transferring 150k to the wrong person. And we are back at the City Hall again. Okay, Jones, don't I need your bank number?
Yeah, 150.
Is it just 150 on its own, yeah?
Yes, 150.
So user ID 150, and I'm gonna wire him 150 grand right now. Is that 150? Yeah. Okay, wiring you 150 grand right now. Your ID is 150 to confirm, yeah?
Yes.
Alright, send.
Got it.
Perfect. Okay, now we've got a speed back over there. That's 150 grand gone out of my account. But remember guys, all we had to do is acquire this property, because now we can flip it for even more money, right? Okay guys, so you can see we can buy the house now for 750 grand. Can I quickly view it?
Yeah.
So, we have the same interior to the other properties here, but as you can see it's empty, and yeah, if we really wanted to, we could change the interior, but we're going to keep it like this because it's not going to be a property that we live in. We're just keeping it for the time being for a flip. But yeah, you can see, compared to the crib that we've been staying in, this is like where my room would be, and look how different it looks when it's empty. So yeah, this is a $750,000 property. How crazy is this? My friend put in 600k, and I put in 150. Thankfully, he has more money than me, because otherwise we'd have to be flipping a trailer. And by the way, I do plan on flipping some trailers, because they are cheaper. I think some of them go for like 300k. Again, it's just about finding a trailer that's empty. Property flipping is something I want to get into long term. It's just a good way to make money on the side, you know. By the way, Nicole, Daniel gave me your number.
Daniel?
What was his second name? I only got it saved as Daniel, so I forgot his second name. He's a good friend of mine. He's got pink hair.
Oh, Daniel G.
Yeah, Daniel G. Miller, that's it. Yeah. This property does come with a garage down here. It's a decently big property, but yeah, I'm just waiting for my friend to come back from the bank right now, and then they're gonna buy it. What car is this? Is this the Charger? If you had to pick out of mine and his car, whose would you pick? Come on, I know mine's a little bit dirty, but it's a no-brainer. This thing does not compare to mine. I know they're kind of different cars, but still, mine's better. Okay, wait a minute, I need to check my bank balance now. Oh no, I'm broke.
Hey, do you have something?
Cash that I need to
Sure. What's it after? I'm after 40 grams of weed and 50 grams of LSD. Cool. Okay, come on. I'll give you it up here and I'll do the calculate up here. 40 and 50. 60 something? I don't know. I'm not good at math, like, fuck. Oh good. Come here. There's no fucking cameras. Come here. Let me do the calculating. Okay, it's $90. Cool. Here's the money. Cool. Here's the stuff. Have a good one. You too.
money on my own. And frankly speaking, I'm not very good at studies. My best grade is C+, and all the other marks are far worse. I simply possess no talent for physics, mathematics, biology, and chemistry. Even cram sessions do nothing. I'd fail all the tests anyway, so I decided to find a part-time work. Dad gave me a courier job at his office, and even offered me a fair salary. He treated me almost like a freelance employee. Of course, I worked 2 or 3 hours a day at most, but still managed to deliver all the papers and notes each workday. According to my own calculations, by graduation, I was going to save about $300. You see, the parents did not give me pocket money. To be more precise, my pocket money was included in the salary. So despite all my efforts, I still had to rob my piggy bank sometimes. I really wished to shine at the graduation party. I needed the most beautiful dress. Even drew sketches for the seamstress myself and bought her fabrics. At the time, Mary was still my friend, and she gave me a lot of advice. Her tastes were similar to mine, so I often enjoyed her help. We even browsed the catalogs together and wondered what accessories and shoes would match my dress. Mary also worked on my hairstyle so that everything would go smoothly together. When I look back now, I still don't understand how she could do this to me. She always complimented me and told me that I looked gorgeous in a new dress. And then she stabbed me in the back. Well, let's not jump ahead. When I thought of a safe place to keep my money at, I somehow ended giving my savings to my parents. Yeah.
Some for them. Even those of us with a scholarship weren't needed to borrow only the money. And yes, with her inexplainable.
Many brothers were a truly comfortable life, I guess. My mom and dad had 3 children. I was the middle one. Paul was the eldest, and Chris was the youngest. Dad earned enough so that we weren't in need of anything. We had a gorgeous house, and our own pool and playground, and my mother didn't work at all. She had her hands full of gardening and housekeeping. I don't really know what kind of relationship did the parents have behind the closed doors. You see, a child cannot say for certain whether mom and dad love each other or not. Well, they can detect an outright hell on earth, but nothing above that. I, as a child, was sure that everything was great. Dad regularly gifted Mom with luxurious bouquets and drove us all to various exotic places during vacations. My brothers and I, despite the vast differences in age, interests, and all, managed to live in peace and quiet. We didn't even fight with each other. Nobody tried to find out who was the coolest and Mom or Dad's most favorite child. I guess we just had everything, so there was no reason for intra-family animosity. Of course, we weren't friends as well. It was pretty much impossible for us to be friends. You see, a 20-year-old guy and a 10-year-old kid just don't have anything in common. We were all born in July, but with a 5-year gap. So when I was 10, Paul was 15, and Chris was 5. So from my point of view, our family had 0 problems. Therefore, I still can't really comprehend what happened to my dad. To this day, I think of his reasons to do so. Guess I won't ever find out the answer. Okay, enough with the interlude. Let's move to the actual story. As I said, all our family depended on Dad. He was the official owner of our big house. He paid all the bills. He gave money for our education, clothes, and so on. Mom just did the housework and made sure that Dad was happy to return home. That day, as usual, Dad kissed Mom in the morning, drove all of us to school, and went to work. As they say, nothing foretold troubles. But then, Dad did not come for Chris at the appointed time in the evening. Me and my younger brother barely got home late in the evening because we were used to Dad picking us up after all the lessons and the work at school clubs. All of us were at first annoyed, then worried. We honestly waited for him almost half the night, but Dad never returned. In the morning, my mother made a statement to the police. The cops arrived, dug through our entire house, checked absolutely everything and everyone, including our distant relatives in another country, but failed to find Dad. There were no clues at all. The police determined that something had happened to him in the parking lot in front of the office. Their surveillance network had a blind spot there. So the last time our father was seen near the parking lot, the police had developed several hypotheses. Once, they assumed that he'd escaped on his own. Another hypothesis told that Dad had been abducted by the bandits. The last one was the most probable one. Everyone knew that Dad was a brilliant financier, and we were practically rolling in money. But we received zero ransom calls or signs. A man just disappeared in broad daylight in a fairly crowded place. And then the real problems began to appear. At first, we continued to live in the inertia, except that my mother often cried and blamed the government for Dad's disappearance. But we still had enough money to pay the bills and buy food. Almost nothing changed, well, except that Dad wasn't home anymore. But nothing lasts forever. One day when my mom tried to get some money from Dad's old bank account, she found it empty. No one replenished it for a long time, so that was actually not surprising. Now we had no money to pay for the house or our elite school, and we began to accumulate debts. In a few months, we found ourselves in a money pit. Mom had zero finance managing skills, and she didn't even know how to earn money. So all of our well-being now depended on my older brother. Well, I tried to help too. We started working. Paul even dropped out of college because of it, tried to keep our family afloat and not to fall to the very bottom of society. We had to sell our big house because without Dad's financier skills, we simply were unable to maintain it. Of course, my mother refused to do so to the last, but soon a buyer had been found and we moved to a much smaller house, suitable for our new reality. I didn't touch the moral side of the issue before, but yes, we were all trying to handle our father's disappearance, each in his own way and her own way. Paul threw himself into work and tried to keep our family afloat. I was just torn to pieces with emotions and unsure of how to live now. Mom constantly cried and refused to accept the new reality. Nevertheless, moral issues can be taken care of, but financial troubles were much more of a problem. Here, time and psychotherapists couldn't help you. My elder brother now had to feed 4 hungry mouths alone and needed to work really hard. He had to choose the wrong way. Paul got involved in criminal activities and soon fell victim to the much more experienced rascals. And then, the police entered the fray. As a result, we effectively lost our brother. The last time I saw him in person, he was sentenced to 20 years in prison. So now, there were only 3
never
of us.
joined.
Now I was the eldest, and I had to cope with the family's problems. I worked hard, got several low-paying jobs such as waitress and cleaner, so that to feed my mother and brother. Chris offered his help. I knew he was still a kid and should really devote more time to study. This way we managed to survive for 4 years. A total of 5 years passed since the moment of the dad's disappearance. Suddenly, a cop appeared on our doorstep with some unexpected news. Frankly speaking, I was not ready for what I heard. Probably one cannot possibly prepare for such news at all. Mom and I thought immediately that the cops had found Dad's body or something like that. But it actually turned out the police found Dad himself, alive and well. And then they told us our real detective story. It turned out that Dad planned his escape from the family himself. He made a deal with the right people in advance, bought fake documents, even hired professional kidnappers to steal him from the office and deliver him to the state border. As a result, our dad vanished without a trace, but another person appeared, also a brilliant financier, but without a past and with no unnecessary attachments. In a year or so, Dad married again. This time, he never had children, organized a new business, bought a yacht, and a nice home for his new family. Well, suffice to say that he lived life to the fullest. Only by chance, one of the police officers noticed that the prosperous businessman suspiciously looked like that of our missing dad. The officer started digging out clues, and in the end, he got the truth. And all that time, our father lived under a fake identity. Then there was time for numerous protracted lawsuits. Father's lawyers fought like lions, but they were fighting a losing battle. Dad's documents were undoubtedly fake. That was the first charge. By that time, we had just come to our senses from the news that our long-buried and mourned father was alive and well. And all of us, including Paul, who was released on bail, couldn't understand Dad's reasons for the grand escape. Why did he do so in his own family? If we'd been such a burden to him, he could have just asked for a divorce. Him and Mom would have just filed an application and went their own ways. As it turned out, Dad's plan was so complicated for a reason. Two of us, the children, were minors, and Mom would have needed lots of child support. There were also problems with marital contract. Plus, Dad would have lost his impeccable reputation. In short, my father decided to just make an Irish exit and leave us all in poverty, and he almost did it. As you see, after such an eye-opener, we now felt zero pity for our father. What he did was unforgivable, and we wanted him to pay the price of betrayal in full. So we filed dozens of various claims: delinquency in the payment of alimony, moral damage, fraud, and many, many more. Our lawyer gladly helped us with the claims. Apparently, our story impressed the judge and the jury so much that all of our claims were accepted. Now Dad had to pay us $300,000. I didn't really know where he would get the money because all of his new assets were already arrested by the state. But these were not my problems. I didn't care. Now Dad is very busy trying to restore his reputation. At the same time, he works in community service in order to make payments to us and the state. His new wife divorced him right away when she found out that he was not the one he claimed to be. By the way, she broke all ties with Dad, even before the cops arrested his property, so apparently she really was a good person. And I personally am simply horrified by the statistics the police told me about. It turns out that most of the missing men and women are in the cases similar to my father's. Those who were kidnapped or ambushed are usually found sooner or later, but when the person doesn't want to be found, it's almost impossible to find them. But, as the cops admitted, my father made the most creative escape they have ever encountered. Usually people disappear to the streets, sometimes even live under a bridge and hide themselves from the law. And Dad wasn't even trying to hide. He even bought himself a yacht. By the way, the state sold it at auction and gave us part of the money. The rest of Dad's property was disposed of the same way. So, here is my story. Funny.
Let's push the gas. Fucking hell. Someone fucking stole my car. You. Fuck. I'm definitely gonna steal your ass now, bitch. Give me it. Give me the fucking car, bitch. Steal this. Bitch.
Oh, fuck me!
Come here. Stupid ass bitch. See, bitch. Oh, fuck, I don't have a gun. Oh, fuck. You know what, you know what? Actually, I killed the people who own this car. So, how would the feds know it was stolen? Eventually they will never know it was stolen, Con. So I killed the people who own the vehicle. It's the next day, as you can already tell, and it's snowing, Con. I walk this car. Before I head to school, let's head to the fucking, fuck, I can't speak today. The bloody mechanic. just over here. Just around the corner from here, pretty much. I swear it was here. Maybe I was wrong? What about down here? Is it down here? Did it move? Yeah, it moved. Here we are. Let's head in. Let's head to school now. Walked a bit.
Make money moves with Combank StepPay.
Hi all, I'm Melissa, and I'm afraid of my own mom. You see, she's already a middle-aged woman, yet she looks as if she's still in her prime. And I suspect that
Already
Mom-
seen this one. Fast forward. Fast forward.
But all of those were
Fast forward, fast forward, fast forward.
really need to run.
Stayed in her room for days and paid no heed to her.
Fast forward, fast forward. Already seen the bit. Fast forward.
School, I usually went to the local pet shelter and spent my remaining free time raising money for charity. I really tried to help every unfortunate soul. I wasn't expecting a reward or something extra as thanks for my actions. You see, I just felt so much better when I did something for everybody else's sake. And that's pretty much all it was. When I finished school, I was able to do so much more. I became a student to buy her some rare eco-vegan makeup. Overweight, smelly, bathed more than one. Bathed, they actually never skip morning exercises. A lot of time to do. I eat energizing, but much healthier. Honestly, just fortunate. You could say it was like my hobby. Some people have only ever received pain and suffering. Sometimes I think that my like a trick, and that's honestly just so sad. Hey there, I'm Gloria, and boy, do I have a lot of problems. Sometimes I think that my life is totally unfair because I've always tried to do good. And in return, I feel like I've only ever received pain and suffering. Ever since early childhood, I've really enjoyed helping the unfortunate. You could say it was like my hobby. Some people are really into collecting stamps, some can't live without new dolls, and I was unable to stay indifferent to those who needed help. I mainly gave aid to animals, but when I was about 12, I even brought home a homeless person. And my parents, well, they weren't very happy about it, though. My whole life was dedicated to helping the unfortunate. I became a volunteer and served food for the homeless on weekends. After school, I usually went to the local pet shelter and spent my remaining free time raising money for charity. I really tried to help every unfortunate soul. I wasn't expecting a reward or something extra as thanks for my actions. You see, I just felt so much better when I did something for everybody else's sake. And that's pretty much all it was. When I finished school, I was able to do so much more. I became a student of the sociology department and finally turned my hobby into a passion. Now, I help several hospices and nursing homes. I wasn't alone either. I organized a whole charity movement and raised money for a multitude of projects. At first, it was quite hard and even a bit intimidating, but my team and I finally pushed through. I'm not a movement leader or a motivational speaker or anything like that. I still have to work hard and serve as a living example to all of my followers. My flat, for example, is always full of animals. There's an endless stream of stray cats and dogs that I'm trying to find new owners for. Yet sometimes I've got a bit more of exotic cases. Once I adopted a raven for 2 whole months before I found him a new lifelong friend. Another time, I had to provide a 2-week shelter for monkeys. Oh, my neighbors were not fond of those. And once, my friends even brought me an ill boa constrictor from a local circus. Life sure is never boring. But still, I somehow managed to find time to study and work as well as perform my job as a volunteer. Still, I'm always running up short on money. Often I even have to eat cat food together with my stray babies. Unfortunately, when I ended up having problems myself, I wasn't prepared. First of all, it started out with a headache problem. Recently, you see, I've been having an increasingly large number of headaches. I'm sure that they were just a result of some difficult period in my life I was going through. I've got exams to pass, my organization was doing a difficult fundraising project for a very sick little girl, and one of the orphanages I care for was in trouble. I spent day after day running from university to law office and to all the other places where I was enlisted as a volunteer.
Tomorrow is
So I
Friday.
took some pills
Tomorrow is
now and then.
Saturday, cut. Not
The
Friday.
best
Today's Friday.
But then,
Tomorrow is
the
Saturday.
symptoms appeared. Headache was followed by weakness and nausea, and eventually I felt so sick that I couldn't
Not
even
many
get out of
students
bed.
come
So
today.
I had to call an
Because, you know, it's the worst day of
doctor
school
told me
before
that
the
things were really
weekend.
bad, and it turned out that I was a victim of
So,
some pretty
most
bad
likely I
disease.
won't
If
sell
not to the
drugs
point
here
where
until
pills were practically
Monday.
useless and
Right,
emergency
people won't buy it until
operations were
Monday.
required.
Or
I needed a
they got my
medical
number
help
so they might call
Otherwise,
me.
I would very soon become disabled, or even waste away altogether.
So, yeah, if they
I would
need
be ready
drugs,
to do
they would
anything in
surely
my
call
power to stay
me
alive.
on the
I didn't
weekend
want to
time.
die. I was only 20. Unfortunately, the operation wasn't free. Not even a little bit. They were able to do it right away, which was great, but it was going to cost way too much money.
Have
And
I seen
simply
this
didn't
one?
have enough to cover it. But of course, I immediately turned to my charities and organizations for help. My colleagues started raising money as soon as possible. Yet, the process of money raising, as we're all very aware of, wasn't
Yeah,
a particularly quick one.
I have seen this.
urgently needed that
Was really dangerous. Virginia would avoid being under her protection.
I've seen this too.
Know how she reacted to that? She didn't. It was a
I've seen this. Fast
There's
forward.
plenty there. What would you do or even think in such a situation? When I was hiding in that closet, I couldn't even imagine that someone would appear there too. And of course, someone walking around. Tendency to just gaze off random. Teachers at school said the horrible sound every night. At first, I told myself that
Already
it must have been
seen
a very big
this.
stray dog outside of my window, but
one other girl and me. Sarah was an introvert as a child, but most appropriate family was pretending that it appeared that her parents locked her in their own house, and they made her live in terrible conditions. I saw through binoculars that she was sleeping in some awful box. Can you imagine that a girl is spending the
I only drink Oak because I like the taste. Oh, Oak.
to stay popular, but in fact, my life is just awful. It happened so that I can only make
Let's have another joint.
videos. And that's it. It would seem that here it is, a photographer's career. But for normal shooting, you need real equipment. Expensive equipment. And I have nothing more than a very strange phone and super abilities to work perfectly, even with random photos. But I want to eat. And at 18 years old, I got money from my mom somehow. Not cool at all. I decided to try myself, where it is most popular now, on Instagram. By the way, my parents aren't rich at all. We live in a trailer because they don't have money for a house, or at least an apartment. And all that they managed to save for life went to my studies, so that at least someone had perspectives and changes. I studied properly, but I was constantly tormented by the fact that my classmates were more successful, more beautiful, dressed more fashionably, and wore handbags from famous brands. Plus, almost no one spoke to me, as I thought because of the money, although in fact, I was just an evil with an eternal grimace of discontent on my face. Well, yes, it doesn't matter. The main thing is that the conclusions were made and the goals were set. I somehow didn't really want to work on my profession and make my own experience because it takes a long time and, honestly, you won't get much money for my profession. So Instagram was for me, the only solution, and at the same time, it made me happy. First, there was Photoshop. A beautiful face was attached to a beautiful view, and it would appear as if I were traveling on the weekend. Since my classmates followed me, it seemed to me this makes me not look so poor in their eyes as I really am. In addition, they began to like me, and pretty quickly I gained such a mini credibility among my subscribers that it was already a good start. But you won't Photoshop forever, right? Then I urgently had to look for some kind of niche that I knew quite well enough to interest new people. The choice, the most obvious, was for fashion and style. Well, which is even simpler, collect bows, process and upload to the net. And there you can have some recommendations, read in fashion magazines, cram or everyday tips like how to put sugar in tea. The idea was cool, but it was hard to make up. To start, to show clothes, you needed clothes. And in my closet, in addition to 3 ancient sweaters, there was nothing good, but there was Photoshop. In short, my very first pictures were made in Photo Editor, the ones with travel and with fashionable dresses. Such a painted world in which others believed and even asked me for advice. At the university, I had to expose myself. Not like everyone else. It seems like I know everything and know how to do everything. I have a personal Maybach in the garage, but I want to be a casual girl. The funny thing was that those who saw me every day also believed in this nonsense. But there was no garage, like no tons of clothes, and all the rest well-being attributes. I lived in a hostel, in the cheapest room possible. Those ones with a shared shower in the entire floor, and 8 squares for life. The fridge was empty for a long time, and the same 3 ancient sweaters continued to hang in the closet. And then one of the girls from the next room whom I hung out with dragged me into a fashion boutique with the words, "Let's see what's in there." And in the fitting room, under the suspicious look of the seller, I managed to make 10 different looks for future posts. Of course, at home I had to spend hours cutting the fitting room from the image and making it into beautiful scenery. But these photos were my very first real photos, in real clothes. And for me personally, this was the first step to success. After such a successful experience, I became a frequent guest in the boutique. Although the sellers became less and less kind to me, the quality of my shots have improved. A variety and even some specific line of style have appeared in my work. The clothes fit me well, and soon it all led me to the fact that my popularity grew sharply, along with the number of subscribers. It was nice, and most importantly, it was important to make money on it. Well, like, people wanted me to start doing ads. You may be asking why I complain, if this is a paradise. I got the money. It was already possible to have a little relaxation, or at least stop photoshopping anyways. Now I could even afford myself some makeup. It seemed like a paradise to me too. But alas, so I have never been mistaken so much, because it's easy to make success. But to fail? Well, it's sort of easy to do that. And in order not to fail, I had to work really hard on content. It turned out that being a fashionable travel style blogger is another nightmare. Yes, they took advertisements from me, but almost everything was on barter. That is, they sent me clothes and I made a post for them, and then I said who the sponsor was. This applied to both things and travel. In my profile, I flew to at least 5 countries a month, and I really flew, only I never saw the countries or even those beautiful places that I wrote about. How did it happen? Very simple.
Green
Imagine
screen.
you have paid round-trip tickets, and all for one day. In the morning, arrival, and in the evening you go back. At the same time, they don't pay for your food or for your visa, all at your own grateful expense. You will be delivered to the desired location, for example, a hotel or a hot spring, or anywhere that you need to advertise. You run around this location like a crazy person in any weather, dress up almost in front of tourists, take a photo, then fly home, and drop your face into your pillow and cry. And if you think that's all, then you're mistaken. Because you have 5 minutes to lie down, no more. And then what? That's right, Photoshop. You edit all the pictures, select the most successful ones and edit it again. Upload it strictly by the time. Set hashtags and write an inspiring post about what wonderful places you saw. Although the only place that you really saw was the local airport. But if in this part of the blog everything was quite predictable and at least paid, then there was a complete failure in style. In order to post content, there were few products sent for review. Fresh ideas, clothes, and accessories were needed. And then I made my most important mistake. I went to several boutiques and offered to barter with them, like I advertised for them. The tags there are unobtrusively shown